All right, guys, it's time to get real for a second. We all have that one habit. We call it a vice. It's that thing that we reach for a little too often. Now, I'm not going to name names, but let's just say there's a better option out there, and it's called Fume. Fume is leading the charge in the flavored air category. And it's not a vape. I don't want you to get that wrong. There's no nicotine. There's no vape. There's no batteries. There's none of that nonsense. Fume is simple, it's clean, and you can use it anywhere. They got flavors like crisp mint, orange vanilla. Trust me when I tell you, Fume hits the spot. Fume's not just functional, by the way. It's also fun. This thing is weighted, guys. It's got magnets that snap and click, and you can fidget with it all day long. Plus, guys, there's no charging ever. When I tell you this isn't a vape, I'm not joking. It's actually nothing like a vape. It is ready when you are. I tell you what, for a limited time, I'm going to give you an offer. Go to tryfume.com. Use my code Chael when you go there. I'm going to throw in a free Fume topper with your journey pack. This thing is chewable, reusable, and it makes your Fume even more fun to fidget with. These guys at Fume have served over 300,000 happy customers, and you can be amongst them. Don't wait, guys. It is time to level up with Fume. Go to tryfume.com, use the code Chael, or scan the QR code that I was nice enough to place right there on the screen for you. Get your free Fume topper when you order your journey pack today. All right, guys, one thing with Ilia Topuria. What do you think of this guy? Ilia, nice guy? Does he come across as a nice guy? I haven't met him. I can only tell you he fights mean. He has very bad intentions. He is looking to hurt you the entire time. You know, there was a comment and commentary going into this fight. And I was Team Max. I thought Max was too much to deal with. I hadn't seen Ilia in championship rounds. I didn't know if he can hold up. That's a very difficult thing to see as a viewer. But as an athlete, it's called the weaponization of pace. Taking that pace and that cardio, pushing a guy so hard that it becomes a weapon. He begins to wilt. Dan Gable made this famous in 1992. Randy Couture brought this theory to mixed martial arts in the early 2000s. George St. Pierre ran with it, and now has handed that baton to guys like Dricus du Plessis, Ilia Topuria. That concerned me. For Ilia, gave me a strength within Max. Secondly, Ilia was saying he could put Max down. He had the power to put him down. That I could not, in my wildest imagination, picture. Little stat on Max, but he has never been dropped. Many people believe Dustin Poirier put Max down. Officially, Max has never been dropped. So now we're talking about, if we're talking about knocking somebody out, dropping them and leaving them there. I just didn't think that Ilia had that kind of power. But there's an interview that went out throughout the week where Ilia said he was going to point to the center right at the beginning of the fight. Within the first 10 seconds of the referee saying, get it on, Ilia was going to come out and point to the center. Max's move. The very move that Max did to Justin Gaethje, and Max has done to a number of other guys. Calvin Kattar comes to mind. Brian Ortega comes to mind. And Max responded to that. And Max said, no, I'm not going to do that. See, I'm the BMF. I'm the baddest mother effer. I'm not the DMF. I am not the dumbest mother effer. And it was in that moment that Max was conceding power to Ilia Topuria. And I remember when he said, I remember standing back and going, wait a second. If I'm a supporter of Max and I'm not afraid of the power, but Max himself says that he is, I need to listen. There was another interpretation I got from Byron, longtime listener. Byron told me, Chael, I don't think that Max is saying I won't toe the line necessarily because of power. Byron said, I don't think Max will toe the line because he's saying, I don't trust you, Ilia Topuria, that you're going to stand and trade with me. You might be using that close range to take me down, but that's another thing. Whether I'm right and it was power, Byron's right and it was wrestling, either way, that's another thing I favored with Max. I didn't think anybody could take Max down. And if they can, I don't think they can hold him there. Largely, we were right on that. But there was a very deciding moment within the fight. And you have to be a very experienced veteran fighter to do what Ilia did. And Ilia is not an experienced championship veteran fighter. No more than Alex Pereira is. And Alex Pereira continues to do moves and techniques that are reserved for veterans. It's what separates the guys with experience from the guys that are inexperienced. It's not the skills, it's knowing in certain moments the right thing to do. Look, when this fight started to unravel, okay, Ilia Topuria, and there, if you could come over here just a little bit. One here, a good shot of this side of the bag. I'm going to hit this side of the bag. Ilia Topuria landed a very powerful headshot on Max. It got Max's attention. It got Max's eyes to look different. It got his legs to wobble. Max then backs up onto the fence. Now, Ilia Topuria is stalking him. Okay, he hits him with the shot. Max is backing up. Ilia's stalking him. Ilia's stalking him. Guy is at his most dangerous when you got him caged like an animal and he's hurt. That's when he's going to throw something wild, something you're not used to seeing. So Ilia makes that approach very beautifully. Now, all guys will do one of two things. First off, when a guy's hurt, they'll headhunt. Number one thing, over 90% of guys will come in and headhunt. Look for that finish. You'd be surprised, but you've got another 9.9% of guys that will use that to get a takedown. They'll hurt a guy on his feet, stumble him into the fence, realize he's got nowhere to sprawl, grab him and take him down. But as each one of those seconds goes by, the guy's recovering. So Ilia Topuria, and this was in the moment, I'm watching this with Coach Dean Thomas, I'm watching it with Dustin Poirier. I turned to these guys. Did you see that? They all were saying the same thing. Did you see that? Ilia Topuria hurts Max. Max goes back. And we're either going to headhunt or we're going to grapple, right? No. The correct answer is you want to dig to the body. Oh. Anytime you hurt the guy upstairs, you want to put a hole in his gas tank. So now you hurt him upstairs. His hands are up. He's trying to protect his head. Slip outside, rips one to the body. So he backs him up. Boom. That's where that fight ended. That shot to the body is what ended that fight. It was much more damaging, and it much more represented the beginning of the end than even the strike that put Max back there. And what's most compelling about it, not only is it the right answer, that's the kind of thing that'll make a guy like Clayton Hires smile. Make Coach Clayton go, see, champ, I told you so. And Clayton has told me so. And he's told me that 100 times, but there's not one example that I could show you. I only have Clayton's voice in my head telling me when you back a guy up, go to the body, hit him in the gas tank. I don't have an actual fight where it's happened. Nobody does it. When I give you stats like 90% are going to continue to headhunt, 9.9% are going to grab him and take him to the ground, I'm being literal. Then you've got this 0.1% known as Ilia Topuria that stalks you, gets close, slips outside, puts a hole in the gas tank. That one shot is what truly ended that contest.